Hello students and welcome to the part 2 of lecture 2. In this lecture we are going to discuss the different types of mechanical vibrations that exist in our mechanical systems, starting with the first one, which is the free vibrations. In this case, system vibrates due to an initial disturbance with no continuous external force. So what we do is we induce a force initially that disturb the body and move it away from the equilibrium position, and then the force is released. The body keeps on vibrating with no continuous external force applied. Okay. For example, a mass pulled and released on the spring. So we have a mass attached to a spring, we pull it and then we release it, and then while it is vibrating there is no more external force applied. So that kind of vibration is known as free vibration. We have this mass spring damper system that we discussed in previous lectures, and let's assume that we do not have this damper attached. So there is no damper, it's only spring and a mass. So what will happen is that we will have the constant B equal to 0. So in that case, this is known as undamped vibrating system. Undamped means there is no damper attached, there is no damping. So during the oscillation, the damping is 0. The body is oscillating, there is no external force and there is no damping. So what will happen is that the body will keep on oscillating with a constant amplitude. Okay, so there is no damper, so there is no external force also, so there is no way to bring the body to a stop. Okay, this is very impractical case, but this is known as undamped. So initially you disturb the body, there is the free vibration, and then you release it, so no external force. Also, if you do not have the damper attached, so the body will keep on oscillating indefinitely, and that is why this is also known as the undamped free vibrations. Okay, now let's imagine the same mass spring damper system, but now instead of the external force that is right here, okay, so in case of free vibration, this force is applied initially, but then what happens is that it has been released. We already know how this free body diagrams come up from the introductory lecture that we had. We already discussed this, what are the forces and how they are applied, and we also developed an equation of motion for it. Now in this case we see that we do not have this force, external force. Okay, and if we are talking about undamped, then your damping force is also neglected. Okay, so you are left with two forces, the spring force or the stiffness and the final motion of the body. And that is why your equation, that was the initial equation of our mass spring damper system, in which we had the external force and we also had the damping coefficient. But in this case we do not have the external force, so this will become 0, and we do not have the damping constant, so B is also equal to 0. So in case of damped free vibration, we will have the equation modified to this case, in which case your external force is 0, okay, and your this term also becomes 0. So you are left with this and this. So this is coming from the resultant force, this one, and this is the stiffness is coming from this specific force. Okay, so your modified equation will be something like this for the free undamped vibration. Okay, now imagine that it is the free vibration, but in this case you are attaching the damper here. So you have attached a damper and the body is vibrating. So what will happen is the amplitude will keep on reducing, which is actually practically that happens when you try to oscillate a body. Even though if there is no external force, the body would eventually come to a stop. So what you do is you pull it up, okay, you pull the mass up and then you release it, it starts oscillating, and at the end it comes to a stop. So this is actually known as the damped vibration. In case of damped, your coefficient B or damping constant is not equal to 0, and the amplitude is also not constant because it keeps on reducing and eventually it stops. So it is again free vibration because you are just disturbing the body from the initial position due to the initial external force, and then you release the external force, and during the vibration there is no external force applied, so it is free vibration. But at the same time you have a damper attached, so it is also damped. So you have the free as well as damped vibration. Okay, I hope it is clear enough. Now to find out the equation of the free vibration, free damped vibration, we have this our free body diagram right here in figure 2. Now in this case we do not have the external force again, so we remove the external force, but in this case we keep the damper. Okay, so it is free vibrations but they are damped, so we have a damper as well. So your initial equation, or the equation of motion of the vibratory system, would be reduced to this one. So in this case your force, external force, becomes 0, but you have all the other 3. So you have the resultant force, you have the spring force, and then you also have the damper. Okay, so all 3 are there, and your equation is modified to equation 2 shown here. Okay, so up till now we talked about free vibration, we talked about undamped free vibration, and we also found out the equation for the damped free vibrations. Now as a conclusion, we have free vibration. It can be undamped, which is oscillating indefinitely, where your damping constant is 0. Okay, damping coefficient is 0. And then you have damped vibration, in which the amplitude keeps on reducing after releasing the force. So it is again free, but it is damped, so the damping coefficient is not 0 now. Second type is the forced vibration. In case of forced vibration, system vibrates due to an external time varying force. So in this case the body will keep on vibrating and the force will be applied continuously during the vibrations. In case of free vibrations, your force is applied only initially to disturb the body from the mean position. In case of forced vibration, the body experiences external force continuously. This is actually one that we experience most of them in the mechanical system, in motors, in pumps, in rotating bodies. Every time we have a running machine, these forces will be applied continuously and you will experience forced vibrations. So there is a time varying force applied. So the force also varies with time, so it is not a constant force. For example, engine vibration transmitted to a car, that is a forced vibration. The mass spring dampers is the same as given in figure 1. And for example, if you look at this figure, there is a fluid flowing, there are pumps running, there are motors and everything in the mechanical system of this fluid system. Now you see the vibrations are continuous, it keeps on vibrating continuously because you have an external force applied continuously. So this is what we mean by forced vibration, and in this case this is your free body diagram. So you will have the external force as well, you will have the spring force, you will have the damper force, and you will also have the resultant force. And the equation will actually stay the same, which actually means that you have an external force applied continuously, you have a spring or stiffness of the system, you have the damping of the system, and you also have a resultant system mass. Okay, so your equation in this case for the forced vibration will stay the same. Again, if the forced vibration is damped, you will have this constant. If it is undamped, then this will become 0. Okay, so very simple, straightforward types of vibrations that we encounter in our mechanical systems. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next lecture. Take care. Bye.